Hello, hello, it's Martin with another property clinic. Loving these. Hope you are having as much fun watching them as I am doing them. Yes, so the general format is on a Monday, I have a hashtag AskMartinMonday on Twitter. My Twitter is at TVMartinRoberts. And you ask me questions. Yeah. Before that, just like this video. Boing. Subscribe to Martin Roberts Property Titbits, which is my YouTube channel, tell your mates, and send in some questions. Yeah, as I said, hashtag Ask Martin Monday, that sounds like I've had a fire. Ask Martin Monday. That's the way people generally do it, but you can also put your little commenty things underneath this video. He says, slipping into a fake German accent. Oh, no ramble, can't ramble yet. Guess what I was going to do a ramble about? Fake German accent. Well, it probably weren't fake, actually, but any ideas? Any ideas? If I say the word German, Steve, what does it mean? What does it? It'll spark off something in some people? Faulty Towers. I have actually got one of those collection thing, arty things, you know, it's got the script for the Germans signed by John Cleese. And it's just got the picture of him doing his silly walk and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, oh my God, gosh. I think there are only ever 12 episodes of Faulty Towers ever made? And yet, just unbelievably brilliant. Oh my gosh. If you've never seen it, has anyone in the world not never seen Faulty Towers? I don't think so. Most people have. Anyway, hello. Yeah, this is my property clinic. Ostensibly a property clinic, but actually, no, funnily enough, I was just about to say, not all the questions to do with property. However, in this property clinic, lots of them are. So very serious questions. Very funny. Some people actually put, is it okay to ask you a question which isn't about property? It's like, yeah, you know, I've had some really random ones. Did I tell you somebody sent me a picture of their bottom? Burnt bottom. Yeah, don't go there. Ugh. Anyway, whatever. I don't know what they're asking. Oh, yes. They're asking me for some kind of medical diagnosis. It was like, wow, don't sit on a hot seat. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? And the alternative is not, which is going to get rather tedious. P. Drizzle. Hello, sir. Can I suggest putting together a show full of outtakes and bloopers, assuming there hasn't already been one put together? Mr. Drizzle, what a great idea. Outtakes, I mean, there are so many. There have been so many over the years. There was one time when I was doing this piece to camera and I was making a comment about a cupboard on the wall, a kitchen cupboard, and I pulled the door and the whole cupboard fell off. And that's somewhere in the archives. We really must do a bloopers programme because, you know, I think there will have been hundreds over the years and we did start cataloguing them. And I don't know why we've never done it because I'm sure it was very popular. So I shall suggest the idea to them one more time and see what we can do. Ed. Hello, Ed. Hi, Martin. Very few buyers make a loss on the show. Does this mean some refuse to let you tell their story, or does this represent the percentage of success? A lot of people ask that question, and maybe not quite as well as you did, Ed. But the basic gist is, do we only show properties that are successful? No, we show everything. It just happens that a lot of people do work hard, end up doing really amazing things to houses and generally do all right. Maybe it's the spirit of auction buyers, I don't know. But we would always feature everything if it went wrong. I mean, I sometimes don't quite like it for the purchaser, but I quite like it for the show to give a balance when things do actually not turn out quite so well, because property prices can go up as well as down and people can mess it up if they don't do their research and da-di-da-di-da and pay too much and get auction fee, la. So I actually quite like it when things don't go quite well because it does readdress that exact balance. But no, I would say out of 100 properties, probably 85, 90% of them, people do all right. I mean, I guess there are the people who just refuse. We have had a few occasions of that where they just say, nah, I'm not going to take part because I don't want people to see the fact I messed it up, but what can you do? Luke Rigg. Hello, Luke. What's the record for the number of times a buyer has appeared on the show? I see quite a few regulars. Wow! Obviously, people who are buying at auction, they've discovered it as a way to do it, and they really do it again because it works really well for them. So, given that we go back to similar auctions quite a few times, and the same people, you know, 6 months down the line, they might be ready to move on to the next project. You know, there was one guy who I can't quite remember where in the country it was, but he was hysterical. He stumbled into the whole process. He did absolutely everything wrong. But he was so laughy and smiley about it all. I think he lost money on his first one, but you just warmed to him completely. I think over a series of years, we kept on revisiting him, and he bought another one, and then we went back and he had a baby, and it was also so, but he had this sort of non-apologetic, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing kind of approach, and yet he was doing all right. So it's great. Jill Prowse. Hello, Jill. We are getting frustrated, oh dear, with our house being for sale for almost a year with only a couple of daft offers. Jill, it sounds like a great sounding house, but communal gardens is a stumbling block. Do you have any advice? Okay. Well, so communal gardens, they aren't everyone's cup of tea, but sometimes, especially in blocks of flats, it's your only choice. And if you can make sure you've got a management company who are doing a good job, or you band together with the other owners, you know, you can afford a gardener, maybe splitting the costs, and, you know, so it's all kept really nice. So there are some pluses, but I can see that, you know, okay, maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea. The general advice when you are selling your house is think about what attracted you to it in the first place. I mean, you weren't put off by the communal gardens, right? So what was it about that house that made you go ahead and buy it despite the communal gardens? And then really focus on that and focus on, you know, the positive points. I mean, I even suggest people going one step further and almost like creating like a book, like you'd find if you if you visited a hotel and there was like an information pack about the area and stuff like that. I mean, why not create one of those for your home and talk about the schools that are locally, talk about the parks that are nearby, or the attractions that are within 5 minutes drive or 10 minutes drive, you know, the shops and all that kind of stuff, and sort of sell it. So maybe you try those things, and that then people will say the communal gardens is not ideal, but, you know, really in the whole scheme of things, we'll get a nice house. You know, la, la, la. Nigel DePong. Hello, Nigel. You did come up with some fantastic questions, buddy. I think Nigel was the one who asked me about roller coasters, and Nigel was the one who asked me about, tractors. Have I ever driven a tractor? So Nigel's question this time is, do you have any hobbies? Okay, so it's not quite outside the box like, do you drive a tractor? But still, Nigel, it's a good one, so thank you. It gives me a chance to expand. I'm going to give a very quick answer to this one. No. Oh, I said it. I'm lying. Is there anybody in the world who doesn't have a hobby? Is there? I mean, what's a hobby? Look at playing with your kids. Is that a hobby? Well, kind of. What's the definition of a hobby? Let's just have a look. What is a hobby? A hobby is blah 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 blah. Right. On that, by that definition, I like my dogs. I've got 3 Labradoodles and a golden retriever who are all just super cute. I like DIY. I generally do have fun doing DIY, making things, breaking things, just doing things up, and there's a great sense of satisfaction from that. I do play the piano a bit. I don't play the piano enough. You need to practice, I believe, and otherwise you're not going to be very good. That is a slight issue because I don't. So therefore I'm not very good. But I do love it, and whenever I do it, I absolutely adore it. And then, so which goes back to my childhood, as most hobbies do, remote controlled things. Generally cars, boats, planes. Now I do have a, I do have a thing with being very unlucky with planes. And obviously there's a very steep learning curve, literally, when it comes to having a remote control plane. And you haven't got much chance to get it right. However, I did discover there's a program you can get, which actually links to your computer to kind of like the remote control thing. And you can actually do it on the screen first. And they've got all these different models of planes. You can fly these little remote control model planes and then take on the real thing, which is probably what I should have done. But one Christmas, after much badgering, I got a remote control plane. I was very excited. Some Christmas morning champagne down, I decided, probably wrongly, to take the remote control plane out for its inaugural flight. I had some friends over, and so we went up to the local park and set this thing going, and it was great. The plane goes whoosh, and it flies up in the sky, and it's like woo, and me and my mate go woo, this is great, but woo, that's fantastic. I'm controlling it, and my eyesight isn't that good in the distance, so it's like, ew. So anyway, his eyesight turns out to be not very good either. But anyway, so he's going, no, go left a bit, right a bit. And I'm going, oh, he doesn't need to be coming back. Where's it go? Go left, down. Oh, sorry. That's a seagull. So he'd actually thought the seagull was a plane, my plane. So meanwhile, I'm going, I don't know where the plane's gone. And zoom, anyway, it disappeared, gone. So that was like 120 quid down the drain. The quickest end of a Christmas present ever. So I'm like a little boy, he's like, his toys just broke. He's like, where's my Christmas present gone? I can't believe I'm losing Christmas present. That was really bad. So we still went back to the house, drank some more champagne, and things didn't seem so bad. So I said, no, I'm not going to accept that as a Christmas present. Here's the thing. It's probably a bit of an admission, this, because I'm telling you really, but because it's kind of fibbing. It's not really fibbing. I wrote a note and photocopied it loads of times. So I wrote this note in like crayon, in a kind of very childish kind of writing, and I put, hey, please help me, I have lost my Christmas present plane. If you find it, please phone this number. You know, spelt few spelling mistakes and that kind of thing. And I put it on all the little sort of parts of the village and telegraph posts, far and wide. And anyway, so nothing. Anyway, bizarrely, like 6 months later, I kid you not, 6 months later, somebody phones up and says, somebody in your house lost a plane, like your son. And I'm like, oh yeah, my son's lost a plane, yeah. And it was like, we found it. It was in a tree about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away, maybe more, 3 miles away, 1 and 4. Well, this is a shaggy dog story, isn't it? 4 miles, let's stick with 4. Oh my God, 150 miles away. Gee, who'd have thought? 4 miles away. And it is in a tree, a low down tree. So obviously it'd flown and flown and flown. Going, oh, nobody loves me. Fly, until the battery ran out, which it did 4 miles later, and landed in this tree. And I got it back, and it was broken. But I got it back. There you go, Nigel. Once again, you win the star prize for sending me off on a completely ridiculous ramble. Wendy Clark. Here we go. Wendy, have you not watched any of these things? Your question is, can we only ask property-related questions on Ask Martin Monday? No, anything you like. Okay, in which case, Wendy would like to ask, if you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? Mine's roast dinner. Well, I have to say, I'm with you, Wendy. Yeah. Chicken roast dinner. Chicken, roast potatoes, roasted parsnips, Yorkshire pudding, the odd bit of greenery, I suppose, broccoli if you have to, and the lovely gravy. Who could get bored of that? I mean, yum, 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 yum. Thank you, Wendy. I'm now hungry. Hello, Mark Wiseman. Hi. What's the biggest profit that's been made on a property over the years on Homes Under the Hammer? Well, I think it's some of the London properties we've done. I mean, there is a thing, an opportunity there for you to spend, you have to spend big, but then your returns are big. And I think somebody bought something for like 700 grand. They spent about £600,000 on it. So they're in for a 1.3, but they sold it for like over 2 million. So they made well over £500,000 quid. But they bought it in the right place. They put a lot of effort in, they had imagination. So good luck to them. So there you go. Next, Nicole. Why do I say next? What do I don't normally say next? Oh, whatever. Nicole. Hi. Do you have a favourite home transformation from over the years? I'm always amazed by what people do. They always pull things out of the bag. There was, however, one of those ones which obviously had a bit more scope to be truly outstanding, which was, I think it was a water tower or a watch tower, something like that, in Plymouth Dockyard, and they gutted it out and they put a spiral staircase in the middle and all the rooms off it, and I think that sticks in my memory as being just truly, truly outstanding. So that's probably it. Bethany Clifford. Hi, Bethany. Hi, Martin. I'm a massive Homes Under the Fan. Ugh. I can't read my own handwriting, that's the problem. Massive Homes Under the Fan here. Homes Under the Fan? A bit drafty here. Massive Homes Under the Hammer fan here. So here, hi Bethany, thank you for being a fan. That's wonderful. Glad you enjoy it. So here's my question. Do you ever get to suggest the songs that are used on the programme, or are they already chosen before you film or record the voiceover? No, well, I absolutely guide, if there is a way to do so, the editors in terms of suggestions for music, but mostly it is the editors who just sit down in darkened rooms pouring through the most random songs they can think of that link some way, vaguely or shape or form, in with what we're doing and talking about. But it's all, I don't know what the songs are going to be when I do the filming, and by the time I do my voiceover, they've already been chosen. So I hope that answers your question. Rachel Tucker. Hi Martin, hi Rachel. I'm doing my house up at the moment and was thinking of spending money on the garden, putting up a boundary wall and landscaping. Would this add much value, or would it be better to spend the money on the house, and if so, on what? Well, here's the thing. You would be amazed, or you might be amazed already, if you had some quotes in, the cost of doing stuff in gardens. I don't know why, but exterior building seems to be really expensive. So even just doing a wall and, foundations, normally it's stone, it was very, very fiddly and labour intensive, and often you can spend a fortune on the garden. Now, a nice garden is definitely a positive thing to have for a house, and certainly even more so now. I think we all appreciate our outdoor space even more. But in terms of adding value, it will definitely add saleability, as in somebody coming around and they've got a couple of options, your house or somebody else's, and you've got a really nice garden, it might just be the tipping point. But in terms of adding value, I don't know if surveyors or valuers would necessarily bump up the price of a house a lot because it's got a garden, a nice garden. I don't think they would. So it is a bit of a cliche, maybe a bit boring, but your kitchens and your bathrooms are the two things which, unless you go completely mad, you will get at least back what you put into them, and probably a lot more than that. So if you spend wisely, you get a nice kitchen for £5,000, you will definitely add double that to the value of the property and the sellability of the property. So I don't know what the rest of the house is like, but I would definitely make sure that I'd got the kitchens and bathrooms right before I started spending money on their garden. Your own bath before the bird bath. Okay, proud of that, just made that up. Peter Honor, hello Peter. Do you ever go back to a property and when they say they have come in under budget, you think it's a bit of a white lie so they don't look a bit silly on national TV for spending £40,000 on a kitchen in a house worth £60,000? Well, people on their budgets, eh? We can't audit the show in terms of asking people to show us their receipts, so we have to trust them. The budget is what they think they will spend, and more often than not, they underestimate. Oh, my favourite was the house in Swindon. There was this chap, and I said, what it needs to be? Well, he was going to build an extension on the back. He was going to do damp proof throughout. It needed a new roof, it needed new electrics, new kitchen, 2 new bathrooms, full redecoration and a central heating system. And I said, what's your budget? He said, 2,000 quid. Not surprisingly, when we went back, he hadn't done it. So, do people lie? Well, make your own mind up really. You know what stuff costs. You'll be able to work out if they're telling the truth. 2 more. Posh to do. Hello, Posh. Is your alias Robert Martins? Oh, really? Well, I suppose it could be. If I had an alias, it'd be something like Hung Dog Jake. Isn't that what aliases are? I mean, aren't aliases the things that people in cowboy... They walk like that? Yeah, they walk like that, don't they? Because they're going... Yeah, I'd be, Hung Dog Jake. I wouldn't be Robert Martin, that's a bit too close. But it does remind me of my best mate at school who was called Roger Martin. And at our school, they used to do the roll call, and it used to be in the days when they call it your surname, which I suppose they still might do, I don't know. Haven't sat at school and had my name called that for a while. So he was before me on the register. So when they used to say, his name was Roger Martin, right? So his surname was Martin, okay. Push that point home. And then I'm Martin Roberts, obviously. So when they said our surnames, it read Martin Roberts. Got a story, really, is it? But it was always made us laugh at the time. So is my alias Robert Martins? No, but hey, thank you for asking. Final question. Jonathan Grace. Hello, Martin. Hello, Jonathan. Have you ever bid on a property that you've gone to film? No, I'm not allowed to. Can you imagine how boring the show would be if I bought stuff? Hello, so why did you buy the house? Well, I thought it was quite nice. Really? What's your budget? Well, whatever I can get away with. Really? That sounds extraordinary. Yes, I can see that's going to get rather dull. So they don't allow me, unfortunately, to bid on things at the auction. I do buy at auctions, but not the ones that we're filming Homes Under the Hammer at. That's your lot for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Some fun questions there. Keep them coming in. Don't forget it's hashtag hashtag blah, I like that noise. Hashtag, I'll do it one more time. Blah, hashtag Ask Martin Monday at my Twitter at TV Martin Roberts. Anytime on a Monday, send in your questions. I'll do my best to answer them on a Monday, but also you might be picked to be part of this, which is my property clinic on my YouTube channel, Martin Roberts Property Titbits. Make sure you like this, make sure you subscribe, and say little bell thing to remind you that another part of this poop has dropped into your whatever's. Where does the YouTube video drop? I don't know. Wherever it drops, let it drop. Have a good time until the next time. Look after yourself.